Greetings and peace be to you, my audience. I wanted to make another video about how life was created. This is not a message, it's just my review. I've explained this before in previous videos, but I wanted to clarify some things. I can't make videos over 15 minutes, so I can't put all the details in it. I'm just gonna give you some small details. Okay. There are in the kingdom of heaven, there are entities which are similar to insectoids, and then there are other entities which are similar to reptilian, and then there are entities which are amphibian, and then there are entities which are like crab, lobster, and shrimp, and those kind of other arthropodic. So there's insectoid and arthropodic, then there's reptilian and amphibian. There's like male and female entities for both of them, and life was created through them. All species of plants and animals were created through those entities. So for example, angelic beings are beings of light. Here's one example. Here's a feminine example. And then the dragon and amphibian races, here's an example. Now for them, the male and females are pretty much the same. And okay, so let's discuss how creation happened. So let's take the angel entities first. So let us say that this is a angel entity. Okay, you have the head, the neck, the thorax. Okay. Now these entities are beings of light, so they are bioluminescent. They project light. Now science has already proven through the phantom effect that light can actually manufacture or manipulate DNA molecules. So here's how it happened. You took the head of the angel entities and you put the DNA or the RNA into eggs, and they became humans. You took it from the neck and put the DNA or the RNA into eggs, and they became birds. And then you took the heart and put it into the into an egg, and they became grazing and foraging animals. Okay, so let's just leave it at those examples. Those eggs are then put into a laboratory. They're put into an incubation chamber, and they are put into moist and warm soil. The soil, then there is a sound which is generated, and the sound produces a cymatic effect which causes the soil to form around the egg, to form a matrix around the egg, and then the organism grows and develops as a regular embryo. Okay, so the creatures which come from the angelic entities, like ants and bees and termites and herds of cows, herds of horses, packs of wolves, they are gonna be social. They are going to be symbiotic to the earth. They are going to form partnerships and relationships with other plants and animals. They are benevolent. They produce milk, they produce honey, they're very productive, and they're very beneficial. Okay, so now let us take the other entities, the dragonish or amphibian entities, and then they also create organisms through the same manners. Now the head will be taken, and it will create certain races of humans. Now the scriptures discuss this. Those humans are normally elite, they're normally rich, they're normally kings and queens, and they normally marry their brothers and sisters. And like the British royal family, like some of the Catholic monarchies and some Arabic royal families and stuff like that, they are designed as predators, and they are designed to divide and conquer other human races. Okay, now so the neck of these entities, the dragon and amphibian entities, will be their DNA will be put into eggs, and then it will create bats, uh, uh, and other flying creatures like mosquitoes and such. Um, their hearts will be put into entities, and they will create like grazing animals, and it will become like pigs and stuff that are not beneficial for the environment. And then they will also create plants that are venomous, that are intoxicating, that make you itchy and things like that. So all of the creatures that come from the evil entities, if you want to call them evil, they are going to be parasitic, predatory, venomous. They're normally solitary, selfish, territorial, and they're like the opposite of the angelic creatures. So it's easy to tell them apart. Um, Now, uh, what God does is He tries to bring them back together, is He tries to get them to agree with each other and to live in the same ecosystem. That's actually the purpose of life on earth, is to bring the enemies to becoming friends. It's to create unity, it's to create peace, and to create balance and harmony. So let me discuss what happened after Noah's Ark. Because mammals did not exist before Noah's Ark. Mammals are a genetic recombination of either reptile and insect or arthropod, or amphibian and arthropod. So let us look at a few examples. So look at the pill bug and the lizard, and combine them together, and you produce the armadillo. Now take the tree frog and the bee, and you recombine them together, and it becomes the tarsier. See, the toe pads on the tarsier are the same as the frog. See, the legs are the same. Okay, and then you look at the hadrosaur and the bee, and you put them together, and it becomes the zebra. Now we can take more examples. For example, you can take this bee, and with the raptor dinosaur, they become the lions. And you can take the giraffe, and or the brachiosaurus with the long neck, combine it with like a wasp, and then it becomes a giraffe. And you can take more and more examples, but we'll just leave it at that. So the purpose of life on earth is to become symbiotic. When God first created life on earth, there was no predators and there was no parasites or diseases. That took place, those animals became predators because they were lacking certain nutrition in their diet, and it caused their DNA to become defective. In fact, parasites and predators have a form of diabetes, which can be corrected. Scientists have observed, even in zoos, they have observed that some lions and crocodiles, they actually prefer certain fruits, like watermelons, sometimes funguses and mushrooms, sometimes even soy. They prefer it to meat. And actually, when they eat plants, it gives them a longer life, and they produce more children and offspring. So they're happier and healthier. And that is what it says in the Bible, Genesis 1, 29 and 30, Isaiah 11, 6 through 8. So that is how God meant for everything to be. Pain and suffering is caused by human greediness, selfishness. We don't want to be rich and happy. God is giving us $1 billion for free, and we are rejecting it. And we are saying we'd rather work hard for $100 because we are insane. Look at the ants and look at the bees. They take a small amount of resources and they multiply it into many resources, because that's what life does. It multiplies itself. Please study the termites and look at the leafcutter ants, and study bees and how they manufacture honey. It's not necessary to get into the biochemistry and to get into to get into the subatomic particle. You don't have to study all that. That's a distraction. If you look at how ants and termites and bees live and you imitate them, you will become an expert in architecture, in animal husbandry, shepherding, in agriculture, and also in production, and also in uh, medicine. Thank you very much for your time. The original humans, like Adam and Eve, up to Noah, they were actually like tortoises. They were super dense and strong people, but they didn't have hair, they actually had feathers. But anyway, I'm gonna draw some illustrations in order to show that. Thank you very much for your time. Please watch my other videos and ask questions if you don't understand something.